Hi, it is Sunday and it is time for my mental health vlog, and it is St. Patrick's Day, which to most of the world, especially most of the country, doesn't mean a damn thing, except for wear green or you get pinched. Not even that. When you grow up in a city that has one of the country's largest St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and the entire city takes it very seriously, and public fountains are all turned green, the river is all turned green, people take off work, the parade is a massive deal. To move to a city that doesn't do a damn thing for St. Patrick's Day is weird. And I can say that because I am 45 years old. I left my hometown of Savannah, Georgia, when I was 19 years old. 2019, I don't know, a while ago. And I moved to the Seattle Northwest area. And my first year there, I'm like, I'm wearing all my green. I'm like, cool, where's the parade? Are we open? What's going on? And people look at me like I'm absolutely insane. And I lived in Seattle for 15 years or so. And then when I moved to Houston, I'm like, okay, this is the South. Maybe big celebrations are a Southern thing. No, no one here gives a shit. Which is funny because there's a huge Mexican-Irish population, which I didn't even know were a thing. So that's fun. But yeah, so it never gets less weird to me that there's nothing for St. Patrick's Day. And I don't understand why I'm having a hard time with that, because most of the country doesn't appear to give a shit. But it's not what I grew up with. That was ingrained in me as a child. And I have a little bit of Irish in me. I believe I am essentially European gumbo, with a little bit of Native American thrown in, like a 16th. But it didn't matter in the city where I grew up, and everyone was Irish on St. Patrick's Day. So I don't know, just weird. My sister went back to Savannah this week for the parade and the celebration, and even she was like, the vibe is weird, the mood is weird, like it's different. And I'm like, well, they say you can never go home again, and there's truth to that. So I celebrated my own way. I wear my green. I have my Shamrock Shake from McDonald's, but that's more of a traditional thing that I always did with my grandfather, and it makes me happy to still do it now. They're terrible. They taste like shit, and I'm sure at one point they either switched the recipe or they've always tasted like shit. I don't really know. It's good shit, like most of the stuff we eat, but it's absolute shit. So I had my Shamrock Shake, and so that's it. That's my delve into St. Patrick's Day, and I've worn green, all the green that I've had this week. So I guess this will always be a thing for me. Today was a lazy day. We were up late last night and slept in this morning, which is hilarious because I spent all week recovering from last weekend when we did the same thing, although we were much later last weekend than we were this one. So the weather today being a little drizzly has been the perfect excuse to do nothing. I haven't even showered yet, and it's 5-something in the afternoon. I'm gonna get a shower, don't worry, I know I stink. But I took some time today to work on some new patch designs that I had for my FD design store. And, oh crap, I got this not linked again. And got some of that done. I got some other orders that I also had for that store done. I had some patch orders come in from Burley Bottoms that I had to get done. More patches going to Germany. I find that very fascinating. My Burley Bottom brand is, I won't say it's popular in Germany because my store hasn't qualified to be popular anywhere yet because there's just not enough traffic. But I've had quite a few sales in Germany, and that's fascinating to me because those bitches are freaks, and I love it. And I look very German, so I know that there's some German in me. Giggity. So I've also, like I said, kind of been recovering from last week, so I've been kind of quiet and reserved this week, which evidently did not go unnoticed, because even My fiance last night was like, because I guess last night was like the first time I kind of came out of my shell and opened up and had a personality this week. Um, and he was like, yeah, you've been pretty isolated and subdued this week, kind of in your own little world. And I hate when I do that. And it probably didn't help that on Wednesday of this week, we had a work release for one of my products. And what we found out that night, and then found out a lot more the next day, was that some items for a different application that I manage got thrown in and published to production without it being fully vetted or reviewed, or I mean, it broke all kinds of stuff, and only half of the stuff got pushed through. Like code got pushed through, but templates didn't get pushed through. So we spent most of Wednesday evening, we were on the release pretty late, so I missed my meeting on Wednesday night. We were on pretty late trying to figure out what to do with the information we did know. And then of course on Thursday morning when we reconvened, because there really wasn't a whole lot we could do Wednesday night, we reconvened on Thursday morning, we discovered even more stuff that we hadn't been expecting to be published and put out to production, had been put out to production. So all of my Thursday was spent trying to respond to user tickets because they were getting bugs, because the system was crapping and crashing out, because code was pushed that wasn't reviewed. So I would not be surprised if somebody gets either a write-up or terminated from this one, because this was a big oopsie. But at the same time, everybody makes mistakes. Lord knows I've got my share. But this one was big, and it has been a little stressful for me. Had my son this week. Picked him up on Thursday after work, had him Thursday night and Friday night. Thursday night he wanted Chinese. So I'm like, okay, he wants noodles, because last weekend he said he wanted noodles this weekend. So I'm like, okay, you want noodles? Like, no, I want sweet and sour chicken with the sauce on the side. And I looked at him and I said, that's just chicken nuggets. Yeah, but I want Chinese chicken nuggets. I always like Chinese food, so it wasn't really, a stretch for me. I'm like, okay, no problem. And then the next night we went to Olive Garden for my fiance's mom's, I guess my future mother-in-law, her birthday. Because her birthday is 5 days after mine. So we went and did dinner, and that was very nice. I'm always very grateful for my fiance's parents. Even this week, his dad came over and helped us remove an old water softener system that is probably older. I can't say older than me anymore, because not many things are older than me, except for this house. It is 1 year older than I am, which is terrifying, because I'm also falling apart. He removed the water softener. We'll need to get a new one at some point, but that's just, you can't give blood from a turnip, and we've already given all the blood to this house that we have right now. So, in fact, I hear power tools downstairs. I'm not sure what my fiance is doing. He was doing something in the office next door, and then I hear power tools going. So I'm sure he's trying to fix something. This house has always got something to fix. My ex sent me an email this week with a what's it called when you itemized list of all of my son's medical expenses for the past several years. So one, that tells me he did finally read the divorce decree. That indicated I would be responsible for 50% of the medical expenses, which I'm happy to do. We've just never really dealt with it. So I'm thrilled he read the divorce decree, and I'm thrilled he's actually, trying to adhere to the things that we have in there. I'm not thrilled to get that big of a bill. And I did ask him, I'm like, and he itemized it, and it's all post-insurance fees, nothing that insurance would cover. It's all like copays and deductibles and things like that. But I'm like, are you amenable to some kind of payment plan? So luckily he is willing to work with me. So I just got to figure out where to rob Peter to pay Paul. And if you're not familiar with that term, I heard it a lot growing up, because my parents had to do a lot of the same shit. Rob Peter to pay Paul. I think most of America does, especially since like 1% of the country owns more than the rest of us. Or 1% of the world owns more than the rest of us. So yay. And looking at how it's going to move forward, we're looking at about an additional $150 a month for co-pays for prescriptions and doctor visits and things like that. So yay, another fun monthly expense I need to find. But I'm totally responsible for it. I have no argument there. It's my son, he's a priority. I can't expect my ex, even though my ex makes more than I do, substantially now, evidently, but I can't expect him to bear the full responsibility of our son's medical bills. So happy to do what I need to do. I just got to figure out what I need to do. A lot of this, a lot of patches, a lot of trying to make my side hustles go viral. I did do a live feed, a live reel yesterday for Burley Bottom Designs, where I'm like, I have a lot of products in my house. I should show them off. And I did. So I showed people like what the different products look like and how they, fit, or how, the size comparison, And it helped because I got a relatively handsome order this morning. It was funny because it was from a friend of mine who called me to ask some questions about the products. And he's like, so I watched your reel. You need to be on QVC. Like, for real, you need to be on QVC. And I'm like, I don't think they're gonna have me on QVC. I don't believe I would be, I'm not the target brand for their target market. If there's an adult, only naughty after version of QVC, then sure, give me a call. But he put in a relatively handsome order this morning. He was like, I didn't realize you were selling some of the things you're selling. So, it worked. It did what it did. It's not just t-shirts. I have a lot of crap. In fact, of all the stuff that he bought, he didn't buy any t-shirts. So, and he spent a good penny in there, which I'm very happy about. I need to go trim the dog's nails because they're crazy long, and take out the trash and clean the kitchen. And I think the rest of the night I need to shower. And then the rest of the night I think I'm just going to call it and chill and get prepared for tomorrow, because I think tomorrow is going to be just as crazy as the past couple of days have been at work. So, yay. So, gotta be a little bit more self-aware when I isolate myself. That's actually one of my defects of character that I dealt with in my 4th step, was the fact that I can sometimes just shut down and isolate when I'm processing or thinking about things, and I block out the world and don't let anybody in. So I don't want to block anybody out or push anybody away, because I know how that feels, and that sucks. So, you know me, I always want to be a better version of myself tomorrow than I am today. So that's part of that. Check in on your friends, see if they celebrated St. Patrick's Day, or if they celebrated too hard for St. Patrick's Day, and maybe they need a very soft phone call, maybe a text, because no one calls anymore, which I'm fine with. Like, don't call me. There's like 3 people I answer my phone for, and even then it's iffy. Text me or whatever. But if I answer the phone for you, you are really special to me, because I don't, and it's no offense to anybody, I don't. I'm a Gen X with a millennial tendencies to not answer my phone and not want to talk on the phone. I still have my book on ADHD, and I haven't read it yet. I think that's classic ADHD. Like, I guarantee you the first line of the book is, how long did it take you to buy this book? And then, how long did it take you to start reading it? Like, I feel like it's going to call me out in the first paragraph. So anyway, check on your friends, see how they're doing. Check on your loved ones, see how they're doing. Like I said, my sister went to Savannah for the parade, and in a couple of weeks I'll actually be able to see my sister and my mom and my brother-in-law and some other friends, because I'll actually be back in Florida for a very, very quick trip for my sister's birthday / celebration of life, which is the 1-year anniversary celebration from their really bad motorcycle accident, which they have both recovered remarkably well from, considering they weren't going to be, we weren't sure my sister would be able to walk again, and the fact that she uses a cane from time to time as needed, it's amazing. Now, I did see my brother-in-law's back in a scooter. I need to find out what's going on with that, because he was pretty mobile and up and around for a while, I thought, anyway, but I got to find out what's going on with that. And as always, check on yourself. What do you need? I needed a refresh, so I changed my hair color a little bit. I added some pink. I'm not sure how well it's showing up. I added some like magenta with my blue, and I got a really pretty gradient. I went to get my hair cut this week, and I always am really happy when the stylists that cut my hair are always like, you did that yourself? Like, you did that yourself. Do you have any cosmetology experience, or do you have any experience with coloring hair? I'm like, well, I've got 5 years of coloring my own. that's about it. So it's always nice to have when you do something you're not a professional at and you have a professional comment on it, it's always a little bit of a boost, a little ego boost. So all right, that's it for me. I'm done. I'm done for the day, I think. So have a wonderful rest of your St. Patrick's Day. Don't drink too much green beer, because green beer looks just horrible when it's coming out your mouth later that evening or the next day. It's not fun. I know from experience. All right, I will check in with you guys next week. Next week will be the 24th, and there's nothing special next week. So my birthday was last week, St. Patrick's Day is this week. Next week is just normal. All right, guys, bye. Have a good one.